Okay, getting fancy over here. Had a little countdown video. What's interesting about doing this every day is it's allowing for tweaks, testing, trying, seeing what works, trying different formats a lot quicker than a lot of typical marketing that we do. And I think that's interesting for remodelers to consider. When we're trying something once every month, once every 2 months, if you want to get better at creating content and you just do it once every so often, good morning, Rhonda, it's harder to get better at it. So we're finding some different ways, different things to use the software and to just keep it engaging and try different formats. So keep that in mind as you're thinking about how do I continue to improve different areas of my business. The more you try and test things, the better and the quicker that process is. We got another good afternoon. Well, hello, everybody. Hello. All right. So on today's show, we are going to get into a few things. One, if you go to the remodelershow.com, you can see all the archives of previous episodes. We've been also uploading them on the podcast. Remodelers on the Rise is the podcast. A little programming note. I'm going to be in a full day commitment tomorrow, so there's no Remodeler show tomorrow. I have this sound effect that says fail trumpet. Yeah. Sorry about that. And then Friday, we'll be back with Tate Watson is going to come on, and we're going to have a good discussion, answer his questions live, and it's going to be fun. Something I would love for you guys to do as you are watching it live, today's show live, or if you were watching the replay, I want you to pause and think for a second. What's something you've learned from the show? What's something you've learned from the show? I'm just going to let that sit for a minute. And I would love your comments. I would also love questions today. After you guys share that, I have another thing you're going to help me through. I'm going to have you rank something for me. But the next thing I wanted to show is something related to yard signs. And I figured out that by uploading it, bam, I can have a picture there. It's a little awkward. I could stand over here, I suppose. This is a photo that Tony Bonnet with Mactown Construction Group sent to his Remodeler Circle group. There's different mastermind groups that I run, and Tony's part of it. And it was just kind of out of the blue. And Tony said, hey, check out this new yard sign that we have created and that has been put up. And had several people kind of comment on it. Hey, that looks great. And the reason I show it to you guys is this is a reminder that there's a lot of different elements that make up our overall brand. And our overall brand is either supporting what we're trying to put out there, is neutral, not really helping or hurting, or it's disrupting. I would argue that professional signage, well-crafted, solid, nice-looking sign is supporting the look and feel and brand that Tony is trying to put out there. And I would say that if he had a flimsy, dinky, always bent over, crummy, cheap sign, that also is doing something to his brand, but it's more in that disrupting, hurting his overall brand. So the reason I bring that up is just think about maybe there's one area in your branding it could be business cards. It could be, what you're wearing in your clothes. It could be how your vehicles are lettered or not lettered. It could be your yard sign. It could be your website. Think of some area that's just not up to snuff, that's not up to the level that you would like it as far as representing your business, and consider working on it. There's a little idea for you as we kick things off. All right, we've got some, let's see here. We've got some comments on what have we learned from the Remodeler Show. Kyle hates olives. That came up yesterday. It's very true. Thank you. Thank you. Consistency is key. That's a very nice lesson from the Remodeler Show, Rhonda. Consistency is key. I like that a lot. And you said great looking sign. Yeah, and I think people driving by that would be like, that's a great looking sign. And it represents his business and the type of work, type of clients he's trying to attract well there. All right, so we're off to a rockin' start here. Another thing, I didn't create a little banner for this, but I will kind of share it. Let me go back here. It is important that we set goals. It is important that we set goals. Yesterday, we talked about setting some organizational goals. The value of having, it looks bare up here. There we go. The remodeler shows in the top corner. It's good leadership to have one or two goals that you and your team are striving for. It might be on a quarter by quarter basis. It might be an annual goal. It might be a month goal. It might be this next 2 weeks goal. But there's something powerful in having something specific and measurable and a goal that you can shoot for. I was talking to a longtime client of mine this morning, and he was just feeling like things were kind of a little mundane is the word that he used. Redundant was another word that he used. And we started talking about that a little bit, and I didn't even say it. He's the one that said it. He said, Kyle, you know what I think I need? I need to set some fresh goals. And I said, that is an excellent idea. Having worked with this individual and this remodeler for a number of years, when he sets goals, it motivates him. It encourages him. It gives him something to shoot for. And I would say 9 times out of 10, he hits that goal. It could be a financial goal. It could be a health-related goal. It could be an improvement in the business goal. There's a lot of different things that he has set goals for over time. But he could just tell by, you know what, I'm feeling kind of in a rut or kind of stuck because I don't have anything I'm shooting for. And he reminded himself that that's something that he needs. So I share that on the Remodeler Show in hopes that there's somebody listening that resonates for and that maybe pushes you to set a new goal. So there we go. All right, another question for you guys is this. There's 3 options I'm going to put up here. This is just a little bit, this is more value for me than you. Option 1. So you're either going to put 1, 2, or 3 in the comments. I just have 3 phrases. Executable idea. The second option, implementable idea. The third option, idea to implement. I have this idea of kind of creating a recurring theme, and I'm debating between executable idea, implementable idea, or idea to implement. 1, 2, or 3. I'd love to know your just quick thoughts on that. Okay, we're going to keep cruising along. I received this question. This actually came through a phone call, and they left a voicemail. And it was a gentleman I've talked to briefly in the past, but I think he was watching the show. And I said, hey, reach out, call or text me with your questions. 517-902-8450. That's my number. Shoot me a private message. Email me. And he called and left a message. And he said, I got a question for you, Kyle, that you can answer on the show. How have you adapted from traditional marketing to digital marketing? How have you adapted from traditional marketing to digital marketing? What is working? What is not working? So that is it's a big question, and it's a good question. Big question is a good question. When I think of traditional marketing, I think knowing this gentleman and some of the things that he's done in the past related to marketing his business, we could be talking anything from magazines and print publications and newspapers and maybe even TV and radio, mailings, that type of maybe more traditional marketing is what I think he's getting at here, to more digital marketing, having a website, our social media presence and platforms, just our overall online presence, whether it's our Google listing, our house profile, all the different area, doing Google advertising, doing Facebook advertising, a lot of different digital marketing ideas. So, these 2 things, how have you adapted from this to this? Where I'm going with answering this question is kind of the middle between those 2 things. So often it's, what is the next shiny object for me to chase? What's the new marketing thing for me to go after? What, should I be on this platform now? There's still some of my clients who are doing very well with TV advertising. There's some of my clients that invest in radio ads and have really solid ROI. It's rare. Those 2 things are rare. Some people are still doing some print publications, but a little bit of, very, very picky with it and very focused with it. where I want to take this is there are other areas of our marketing, yes, they overlap, that sometimes just get overlooked. Something that's working very well for my clients is developing strategic partners. That is not necessarily traditional marketing or digital marketing. What is a strategic partner? A strategic partner is somebody who shares the same ideal client as you do. If I'm a remodeler, it could be an architect. One of my clients just looked at $1 million project. It's going to be assumptive close. It's going to be his biggest project that he's going to ever take on. And it came from an architect, and he is still charging for the project development and planning. Came from an architect, and he's still charging for it. That's cool, right? But that came through an architect referral. Could be an architect, it could be a designer, it could be a high-end landscaper. Anybody who shares the same ideal client as you do. Could be your trade partners, your plumber, your electrician, people that you can develop a relationship with, that you can refer, that can refer back to you. When you find these people, it can be the gift that keeps on giving. When I go down this road with clients and talk about this part of the marketing plan, often what happens is when you start thinking about it, they used to refer me and I haven't heard from them in a long time. I met him briefly, during the Corona, we elbow bumped. I was going to say we shook hands, but during the Corona, we went to a meeting, we had masks on, and we elbow bumped and said hi, but I would love to get to know them better. There's people for you to reach out to develop relationships with, to build know, like, and trust with, to provide some type of value to, that can be great referral partners. That's a unsexy, underappreciated part of the marketing plan. How do we stay in touch with our previous clients? That's what my September course is going to be focused on. Is that traditional? Is that digital? Well, we use a little bit of both of those, but that topic is incredibly important. Getting reviews, our networking and our associations, our referral program. When somebody refers us, are we sending them a thank you and a little thanks a latte, a little bit of $10 Starbucks card? When that prospect that turns into an actual client, are we doing something nice for the person that sent us that referral? Right? Is that digital? Is that traditional? I don't know. Job site signs like we just talked about. And then, there's a lot of different things. So where my head goes, that was 4 or 5 things that are working well, that are performing well, that when in time and effort and strategy is invested in them, those are some of those things that often get overlooked. So I'd answer that question of what about traditional? What about digital, to highlight some of those areas in between there that kind of float up the list of priorities for me. / on the digital side, we need a kick butt website. We need a website that ranks well and actually produces leads, and we need to invest in that. We need a rock solid Google listing with a lot of reviews from our happy clients. We need a presence on social media. There's a lot we can do there. So there you go. If you're overwhelmed with marketing, my September course I'll tell you about later this week is somewhere to start, but also set a goal for it. Pick one thing you're going to focus in on and execute this month. Okay, there we go. All right, cool. Number 3. Somebody says number 3. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so I went on a little tangent there, but I was kind of answering this question from, it was actually from George, of how we adapted from traditional marketing to digital marketing. So hopefully that was helpful. We're to the point in today's show where we got a little Ask Kyle Anything. I wonder if some other folks are going to have some Ask Kyle Anythings to share and to talk about. I do have one other question as well to bring up, and some other topics as well. A couple of reminders. If you go to remodelersvault.com, you're going to find all kinds of templates and tools and resources that are very helpful, and it's free. So feel free to go and do that. I'm going to read another question that I got submitted. How to keep field employees motivated and wanting to be involved with making a company a better place to work. How do I keep my field employees motivated and wanting to be involved with making the company a better place to work? We're having issues internally with our field staff. I just don't get it. They get paid better than average of other contractors in our area. All have company paid vehicles with gas cards. They have full benefits, 6 paid holidays, 1 to 2 weeks paid vacation, company matched IRA, 50% company paid health insurance, 150K life insurance, which I don't believe most contractors are offering. Help. So that's kind of this remodeler who submitted that situation and story of how do I keep my field employees motivated and wanting to involved in making a company a better place to work. One of the thoughts that come to my mind is you see where he went secondarily with that. I'm paying them well. I'm giving them great benefits. Therefore, this and this should be happening. They should be motivated. They should be working to improve how this company works. Is that their motivation? It's wonderful, and I think it's a great thing to pay our team well, to be able to afford to pay benefits and to work that in. But that's not, in this case, seemingly what's motivating them. The next place my head goes is, what's the work environment like? Is it an enjoyable place to work? Are they coming in motivated and feeling ready to attack the day and ready to run through a wall for you as the leader of the business? Or are they being micromanaged? Are they feeling like things are disorganized and it's not that enjoyable? Are they feeling like the process and systems are cumbersome and just not helping them do their job better? Without talking one-on-one with this person, I'm not sure what the answer is, but that's where my head goes based on some experience and based on you're paying them well, you're giving them these great benefits that I would say is above and beyond what most people do, yet they're still not motivated and working to improve. The next place my head goes, and the next thing that's probably the most practical to kind of dig into, is checking in one-on-one with these folks and asking them that question, saying, I'm working to try to figure out how to motivate you and how to motivate our team more. I just feel like I'm pulling you guys along versus you guys running right next to me on improving things. It seems like I'm always dragging you guys along to work towards improvements and to be consistent with things that we've implemented. I need your help. Getting that out there and talking to them like that one-to-one contact is overlooked and is not done as often as it should be. So if I'm stuck in this situation like this remodeler is talking about, where I'm paying them well, this isn't working, it's got to be something else. It's got to be the work environment. It's got to be our preparedness on jobs. Maybe there's a bad seed, like I've talked about the last couple of days as an example, a bad seed on the crew that's just bringing the morale and enjoyment of the work down. So those are some tangible things to maybe look into, think about, perhaps try out. So there you go. Excellent. Kind of bouncing around from different topics today. As a little shortcut, if you go to text from Kyle.com, you can join my text community. We set up that little URL just to make it quicker and easier, textfromkyle.com. One other thing that we played with is this. Whoop, not that one. Hang on, I'm playing with these different options in here. Oh, where's it at? Bailey, I seem to have lost. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Boom. Fall courses with Kyle Hunt. We still don't have it quite ready. You know what happened, actually? We had it pretty much ready to go, and I have a business coach named Andy, and I let Andy sink his teeth into the landing page we made, and he's recommended some excellent improvements, which is going to take us a couple days to work through and for me to create a new video. But I'm excited. You guys should be as well. You'll hear about the fall courses that I'm going to be offering here shortly. And then one other little logo that pops up here is just this reminder that I offer Remodelers Autopilot. It is a great and powerful way to stay in touch with your previous clients. It's $1 to try out if you go to remodelersautopilot.com. Ooh, we got some fancy technology going on over here. Very, very fancy. All right. Anybody have any other comments or questions? Or I will go on to the next topic that I have. All right. Next topic I have is related to, are you feeling down in the dumps? Are you feeling down in the dumps? I have 3 things for you if you are. And this has come from multiple conversations over the last month. One of them is, if we focus on all of the negative things, our attitude is going to be negative. I am just dropping these brilliant phrases today. I know that's kind of common sense. I know that's pretty straightforward, but it needs to be heard. If we focus and spend our time on everything negative that's going on, there is a direct correlation to how we're feeling and how we're going to be responding to things and how we're acting. Which is usually right next to that negative thing you're focused on, if we focus and put some more attention on the positive things, and we're focusing on that, and we're thinking about that, and we're spending some time on that, your attitude is going to be better. You're going to be more enjoyable to be around. I would say you're going to be a better leader. People will be more motivated, going back to even the question we answered earlier, will be more motivated to work alongside you and push. What's interesting is I shared that idea with a longtime client 2 weeks ago. And I said, you're focused on everything negative. You go buy a job site sign for that buddy of yours who you've been competitive with for 20 years. You see that job site sign, and instead of saying, you know what, good for Jack for getting that project. You know what, we've got plenty on our books, and we got plenty of irons in the fire, but I'm glad that my buddy Jack got that. Instead of having that attitude, you drive by and say, that's a bunch of BS. Why did he get that? I didn't get that. Blah, blah, blah. And you go negative. That was a prime example based on something he had told me. What was really interesting is we talked about this positive thing. We talked about how, we're feeding the side that's just all negative, negative, negative. And I said, I know this is such a simple thought, but let's try to be more positive. What he reported back to me yesterday was a night and day difference. He said, Kyle, I just needed to be reminded of that. I was feeling frustrated. Things weren't clicking. Things were going wrong in the field. Jobs that we thought we were going to get have kind of just stalled out a little bit. And I decided that next day that I was going to be more positive. It was a more enjoyable day. My wife commented that I was more enjoyable to be around. The team, I felt that. And wouldn't you know it, that over the next week or two, things have been getting better. We've been signing some things. So it's just that reminder of the importance of that. The other thing is perspective. He was talking about some first world problems. And we all do that from time to time, little inconveniences we have in our lives when there are so many people that are suffering or hurting or are sick or are fill in the blank that have it so much worse than us. We need to be reminded of that, and we need to have proper perspective. And the other thing I shared with him yesterday, since he's mastered the positivity and everything else, he's done with that. He's got that locked in for the rest of his life. Yeah, right. We need to continue to revisit it. But the third thing I mentioned to him is a lot of times that negativity and a lot of times that lack of perspective can come from this inward focus all on ourselves. What's my issues? What's my problems? What am I dealing with? And another way to get out of a funk or to just live a more enjoyable life is to make sure that we are serving others. The idea I gave him yesterday, I said, man, you're feeling better. I want you to keep your antennas up. Maybe you've got that buddy from the biker club that, he knows somebody that needs a ramp installed. And you know what? You are going to do that pro bono and donate that. Maybe you heard about this or that and you go, hey, honey, why don't we take dinner over to them? They're just going through a lot, and let's just deliver that to them tomorrow. Can you text and just see if they would like that? Just taking the focus off of ourselves and shooting that out to others and how can we serve them is such a little thing and such a powerful thing. So I wanted to share that because it's come up several times in conversations. I've lived through all of that stuff. We all of us ebb and flow through that. But those three things, the positive outlook on things instead of the negative, the perspective, and the serving others are just three things that I think are really helpful for us to be thinking about and to work towards executing. That's an executable idea or an idea to implement or an implementable idea. One of those options. Okay. Keep your antennas up. Such a good reminder. Yes, I agree, right? When we're paying attention to it, you'd be surprised at how many options and opportunities are around you. All right, so I wanted to share that with you guys today. Wanted to talk about marketing, traditional marketing versus digital, and some ideas there. Wanted to show you that yard sign example. Wanted to answer that question about our team not being motivated. Wanted to get your feedback on those 3 options that I put up there. And that's actually all I had for today's show. Wouldn't you know it? I will, since we have a few more minutes, I did have another thing written down that I'll mention related to the 401k and the retirement side of things. Talked about some goal setting today as well. One of the benefits that if you're not offering this right now, the idea of setting up a simple IRA in your remodeling business is very affordable. It's a nice benefit that you can offer your team when you do a 1% or a 2% or a 3% match on whatever they put in. It's fairly affordable. And it's also pushing them towards something that they should be doing and something you should be doing, which is investing in retirement. It's a thing that we all have on our minds, that some of us might be executing at a great level. Other ones go, I got to put more focus on that. So as you think about goals, as you think about the rest of this year, if you don't have a retirement account set up, or if you're not offering that on a company level, look up simple IRAs. There's a lot of different other options out there, 401ks, this and that. The reason the simple IRA often makes the most sense is because it's simple, and it also is just not very cumbersome and difficult to get set up and to execute on an annual basis. Then it's a very nice benefit that you can add to your team. If you already have that set up, take a good look at what you're putting in there. Can you sneak another $50 a month in? Can you sneak another $100 a month in? That adds up over time and can be very beneficial. Look at the company match if you're not doing that right now. And just wanted to add that in there. To reminder to take that retirement side of things seriously and fight to get some dollars deposited in there and put in there. And it's also a really nice employee benefit. Okay. Cool. Thank you, everybody. That was a pretty good one. So this was fairly quiet show. Thank you for some of you who shared some comments. I appreciate that. We bounced around to several different topics. Friday, I'm excited to have Tate on the show. We're going to dig into, he already sent me like 4 or 5 good questions. So it'll be fun to kind of do like we did last Friday, which is almost like a live coaching call, if you will. So we'll have fun with that. And that's all I got for today, my friends. I think we're going to wrap up 2 minutes early. We could do from you guys, what is something that you learned today?
It's the 2-minute warning.
Talk to me. What's something you heard that you might do something with today? Anyone? I would say out of everything that we talked about, I would say that idea of setting a clear goal. We talked about that a little bit yesterday with the organizational goals, and we talked about that a little bit today. It's been a crazy year. It continues to be a crazy year. What's your goal for this month? Or what's your goal for the next 3 months? Or what's your goal between now and the end of the year? It's important. It's valuable. It's helpful to have that out there. We had Michael, nice work. Okay, good. We had attitude is everything. That's a good takeaway. That was Tate. Oh, look at you guys. You guys are out there. Focus on the positive. Scott, thank you. Tate, thank you. Michael, thank you. Excellent. Ooh, focus on the positive. I love that one. I love that one. It's so easy to get drawn into the negative. Let me, I think I've done this once before, but I'll read this. If you guys ever wonder what's that sign behind Kyle? I'll read this. It says, the one you feed. We'll end with this. An old Cherokee told his grandson, my son, there is a battle between 2 wolves inside us all. One is evil. It is anger, jealousy, greed, resentment, inferiority, lies, and ego. The other is good. It is joy, peace, love, hope, humility, kindness, empathy, and truth. The boy thought about it and asked, Grandfather, which wolf wins? The old man quietly replied, the one you feed. The one you feed. So that is a good reminder. That seems to be coming up often lately. What's cool about this little thing here is that if you look closely, it says Theone. This artist takes poems, takes phrases, and makes art out of it. Everything I just read is in that. And you can see it's kind of one side is battling out the other one. Which one are you going to feed? Which one's going to take over? It's true. And then Michael said, plan for the future. Good reminder. Cool. All right, my friends. Catch you on Friday. Talk to you on the Remodelers Community Facebook page. Feel free to email me. Feel free to text me. Feel free to reach out. Love you all.